Last week, interest rates climbed notably higher, especially further out on the curve where the yield on the 30-year Treasury bond reached its highest in about 20 years. Fixed income investors are starting to demand more yield, as expectations for Fed rate cuts shift to the possibility now of a rate hike, and also as market-based inflation expectations are creeping higher, not just in the short term, but also for a few years out. Last week's minutes of the April Federal Reserve meeting elevated this theme, as we learned that several committee members are open to tightening policy if inflation stays high. And inflation will stay on the agenda this week. On Thursday, we'll see the Personal Consumption Expenditure, or PCE, price index report for April. The headline index is expected to come in well above target, as higher energy prices continue to make their way through the system in April. But investors will pay close attention to the core, or ex-food and energy index, to see if price pressures are bleeding into core services prices. And a hot print here could push the narrative even further in the hawkish direction. Meanwhile, home price data will come out this week for March. House price growth has softened. In fact, it's turned outright negative in some metropolitan areas. And investors will pay close attention to these price trends at the start of the spring selling season, where a soft read could get some real attention. Housing is a huge fraction of the total inflation index, so if home prices are pretty flat, then what does that mean for the inflation outlook? Lastly, markets will be watching the latest developments in the Middle East. Energy analysts argue that we need to see supplies moving through the Gulf as soon as possible in order to avoid a broader supply disruption. So, things to watch this week: inflation data, house prices, and developments in the Middle East.
The views expressed are solely those of the authors and do not necessarily reflect the views of First Citizens Bank and Trust Company or any of its affiliates. This material is for informational purposes only and is not intended to be an offer, recommendation, or solicitation to purchase or sell a specific investment strategy, any security, or insurance product, and should not be construed as legal, tax, or accounting advice. Please consult with your legal or tax advisor regarding the particular facts and circumstances of your situation prior to making any financial decision. While we believe that the information presented is from reliable sources, we do not represent, warrant, or guarantee that it is accurate or complete. Many companies referenced in this content are independent third parties and are not affiliated with First Citizens Bank and Trust Company. All third-party trademarks referenced, including logos, trade names, service marks, and icons, remain the property of their respective owners. Your investments in securities and insurance products and services are not insured by the FDIC or any other federal government agency and may lose value. They are not deposits or other obligations of or guaranteed by any bank or bank affiliate and are subject to investment risks, including possible loss of the principal amounts invested. Past performance is no guarantee of future results. Estimates of future performance are based on assumptions that may not be realized. This material is not a solicitation of any offer to buy or sell any security or other financial instrument or to participate in any trading strategy. Diversification does not guarantee a profit or protect against loss in a declining financial market. First Citizens Wealth is a marketing brand of First Citizens Bankshares Incorporated, a bank holding company. The following affiliates of First Citizens Bankshares Incorporated are the entities through which First Citizens Wealth products are offered. Brokerage products and services are offered through First Citizens Investor Services Incorporated, FCIS, a registered broker-dealer, member FINRA, and Civic. Advisory services are offered through First Citizens Investor Services Incorporated, First Citizens Asset Management Incorporated, and SVB Wealth LLC, all SEC registered investment advisors. Certain brokerage and advisory products and services may not be available from all investment professionals, in all jurisdictions, or to all investors. Insurance products and insurance are offered through First Citizens Investor Services Incorporated, a licensed insurance agency. Banking, lending, trust products and services, and certain insurance products and services are offered by First Citizens Bank and Trust Company, member FDIC, and an equal housing lender and First Citizens Delaware Trust Company. For more information about First Citizens Bankshares Incorporated, its subsidiaries, and its investment professionals, visit www.firstcitizens.com/wealth/disclosures.